All right, hello everyone. I've emerged on the other side of the heat wave, and I'm back here, finally filming again. Feels like it's been a long time. If you haven't been following me on here or on Instagram, our air conditioning broke, and there was a huge heat wave over like the weekend and the early part of this week, and I just laid horizontal for like 4 days, and I could not wear makeup because every time I moved any limb, my face just erupted in sweat. So now we're finally here to film the last video on this palette that is ever going to be uploaded to YouTube because I'm so late. But in that time, the Kaleidos Flower Punk palette arrived to me, and so I'm going to do a first impressions on it. I'm so excited. Normally I don't save packaging because why would I save a cardboard box that the palette comes in, but this is so beautiful that I thought I would just show it to you. I don't even know if it's going to translate on camera, but it has this flap, and then this artwork is so beautiful, and this palette is just stunning. I mean, Kaleidos always kills it with their packaging, but this is so nice. I'm going to try not to blind you from my light. It's like mirrored with a print over the front of the mirror, and then the back is also so beautiful. It really, Kaleidos always sells the fantasy, like they really outdo themselves every time, and then the mirror in the front actually completely comes off, and a lot of people said that they didn't like this, and then there's just like a full mirror on the side. A lot of people said they didn't like this, but I actually really think this is fucking genius. I just think this is such a good idea. I normally do my eyeshadow with like a small handheld mirror, and so having just this, I don't know. I'm a fan of the concept. I'm trying to find the peel off thing, but I can't right now, but I think this is great, personally. And then this is what the actual palette looks like. Really pretty. I like this color story. I'd be lying if I said it was like my favorite. I love these tones down here so much, and I think the shimmers are really beautiful as well. I think just for me and how I typically do my makeup, it will take a little bit more thought for me to use this palette and do looks with it like just by itself, which is, you know, it's always fun to have a challenge. So let's just watch this out, and I might do comparisons to the Sci-Fi Green palette just because apparently I was talking to my friend Carrie does makeup on Instagram, and she was saying that this, which I didn't even realize, but I feel like I knew it at some point and I forgot it, but this is replacing the Sci-Fi Green. So this is actually discontinued, and from what I understand, you can't actually get this anymore, which is really sad because this, I think, is probably my favorite like futurism palette, these 6-pan palettes that Kaleidos does. I love this palette, so a lot of people have done swatch comparisons to this and melt palettes and all that shit, so I don't think I'm gonna add anything by doing like all these different swatch comparisons, but I will do some comparisons to that palette just for nothing else except for my own curiosity. So let's just watch this out. Oh, and also I'm coming at you unblushed and unhighlighted because I also got the Space Age Prophecy highlighter. I made a commitment to myself, and I was like, next time I make an order from Kaleidos, I'm going to get this highlighter because it just pulled me in for so long, and I could never justify buying it because it's the same price as the palette. It's 44 USD, which is low-key ridiculous, but it's so pretty. Even the imprint, the glare might not be able to see it, but even the imprint is so beautiful. It's a multi-chrome highlighter, and I'm so excited to put this on my face. So we'll do that probably after we use the palette, but I'm just gonna zoom you in. Yeah, and let's just do some quick little swatches. So the first shade is the shade Mint Fever, and as the name would suggest, it's a mint. It's like a teal to me. It's like a matte teal. That wasn't the best swatch, but it's a really beautiful tone. Then we have the shade Aloe Cove, which is a metallic, same tone as the matte, like a tealy mint, but it has a pink shift to it. Then the next shade is another metallic shade. This is the shade Stained Glass. This is a light pink with a peach shift. It's really pretty, and these are very like sheer toppery shades that Kaleidos does. Then we have another matte. It's the shade Nouveau. This is like a mauve. I feel like they could have gone a little bit deeper with this personally, but it's still a really pretty shade. And then we have the shade Peach Soju, which is like a rosy shade. I guess it's kind of peachy, but this is more like rosy to me than peach, to be honest. Then we have the shade Chlorophyll, which is a like acid green. This is so beautiful. That's such a pretty green shade. Then we have the shade Golden Age, which is another green, kind of like a slimier green, you know, like green with a lot more yellow to it. And then we have the shade Sun Gazer, which is more of an opaque metallic shade. This is almost like an olive. And then lastly, we have the shade Earthship, which is a darker mossy green. Just from swatching, these feel very like similar to Kaleidos' typical matte and shimmer formula, but we have to test it out to be sure. So let me just do swatches of the greens, I guess. Maybe I'll just do them like on the side of my arm. We'll see how that goes. So I'm pretty much just going to be comparing these two greens here. I took out the little insert, so I don't know the actual names, but this is the lighter green from the other Kaleidos palette. What is this even called? Futurism 1, Sci-Fi Green. And then this is the darker green. I don't feel like they're exactly the same. This one looks like it's more yellow. This is a little bit more like cool toned. It doesn't have quite as much yellow in it. And then this looks like you honestly mixed the two. They're, to be honest, pretty fucking similar, but not quite exactly the same. Now I'm going to swatch the metallic green from the Sci-Fi Green. I'm just going to put it like right here beside the green. So this is the green from the Sci-Fi Green, and this is the Flower Punk Green. This is definitely more sparkly. This is Kaleidos' like old metallic formula that is a little bit just straight up metallic. Still really beautiful. That has a little bit more sparkle to it. Pretty similar. This is a lot brighter and again has more yellow, has almost like a yellow shine, whereas this is like an olive green metallic. And then I guess I can also do this mustard, maybe compare it to this shade up here, but yeah, this is way more like yellowy green, and this is just almost, it looks almost orange in comparison. It's basically just a mustard. So those are the swatch comparisons. I feel like if you just wanted this green section from the Flower Punk palette and you already have the Sci-Fi Green, you probably don't like need this palette. I think we're generally on the same page that like no one needs makeup, you know? Certainly least of all me. But you do have this other half of the palette that's the other shades, and these are tonally a little bit different, but I think you could probably realistically get the same effect from them, if that makes sense. But yeah, so let's just honestly get into it. Let's do a little look. I have had so much time to think about what I want to do, and we'll see if the vision comes true to life in my mind. I'm going to just use these green shades because I desperately, I have to, okay? Like, I have to. I can't use this palette and not use these greens. So let me zoom you in a little bit more. Maybe not that far. Okay. There we go. Something like that. Okay. So I'm going to start with the shade Chlorophyll right here. It's this beautiful acid green. I've primed my eyes using the NARS Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base, and I set my lids because I always like to work on set lids. And let's just use this. I'm just going to use this as a transition shade. This brush, I just washed it. It's a little bit denser than my typical brushes, but anyway. And I'm going to try to do this in like a wingy shape, which, to be honest, I typically always do. Blends super easily. It feels just like a typical Kaleidos shadow. For me, the trick for Kaleidos shadows is how they build on each other, because sometimes that is like the fault of this formula. They don't always layer like amazing, but that is just like fucking stunning. I know a lot of people said that they thought that this looked like a Melt palette, and I guess I agree to a certain extent, but like, I know a lot of people have also said this, but Melt didn't fucking invent like a long row of eyeshadow. And I think overall the packaging is way different, and the pen sizes are way shorter than Melt's. Anyway, and Melt has been like losing their minds recently, so I'm side-eyeing them a little bit. Alright, that is beautiful. I love everything about that. Now I'm going to go into the shade Golden Age. It's this, I feel like it's honestly a cross between like a mustard and a yellow, or no, what the fuck, a mustard and a green. And I'm just going to run this through my outer corner of my crease, but I'm just going to try to, again, like wing it out a little bit more. And I'm also just trying to build this up to see like how much I can get out of this. I feel like my eyelids are looking particularly uneven today, but we're just gonna have to accept that my face is not that symmetrical and roll with it. I'm just gonna blend these out with a clean brush, although they don't really need that much blending, to be honest. And now I'm gonna go into the shade Earthship, which is this darker green. And I'm going to take this on the outer corner, but I'm going to wing it out, or try as best as I can to wing it out. Follow the shape and then bring it through my crease. I'm not sure if I'm gonna bring it all the way like through like I typically do, but we'll just see. Okay, so I think I have that how I basically want it. I just had to finagle it a little bit, but essentially I just wanted to do a little bit more of a rounded not rounded, like winged out shape. And then I'm just bringing the darker green close to my brow to give like dimension to my eye, but that but so that I won't have to do like a half cut crease. And then I'm just gonna fill this area in with shimmer, and well, hopefully that works. I'm just trying to do something different, you know? So now I'm gonna go into the shade Sun Gazer. It says beautiful, 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 beautiful green. Take this on a brush. I'm gonna spray it because I always spray my shimmers, and then I'm going to, like I said, put this all over my lid, bring it up to where I have that shading. And yeah, we'll just see. Okay, so my camera stopped recording, but I just did the rest of my eyelids. Definitely has a more opaque base than like those other two topper shades, but still has this sparkle. The more sheer shades that Kaleidos has, so I really love that. I'm just going in with the shade Earthship and defining around the edge. And I guess I'm going to just go around the edges of the shimmer just so that it's not super harsh. So I'm still having that shading, but I'm not having like the same level of structure that a cut crease would give, you know? Trying something different. I think, do I prefer a cut crease? Maybe. But you can't always do the same look every time, so. And then I'm going to go into the shade Golden Age and just run that closer to my brow. Here, go around the edges as well. Am I filming that? Yes. Beautiful. I'm going to perhaps take Golden Age and stamp that on my lid between the shimmer and the mattes. And then I'm going to take Earthship and deepen at my outer corner. I definitely also feel like this green could have been darker. But that's just a personal preference thing. I also just think having deeper shades makes it more applicable for more skin tones, but that's just my 2 cents. And then I'm going to take the shade Chlorophyll, that bright green, and then run that all along the edge of my shadow, just to bring that brightness back. Perhaps I will also concentrate that near the brow and on the edge of the nose as well. And then I'm going to take this shade Sun Gazer with my finger. Such a beautiful, it's never in focus, such a beautiful shade. And then intensify that on the lid with my finger and use that also to help blend it kind of everywhere. Ooh, that's pretty. That's really, really nice. Okay, so for my lower lash line, I'm just gonna keep it all the same, I think, to be honest. I'm gonna take the shade Golden Age, run that all along my lower lash line and blend it out. And then I'm gonna take the shade Chlorophyll and use that to deepen everything up. And then I'm gonna take the shade Chlorophyll and blend that all along the edges. Okay, now for funsies for my inner corner, I'm gonna take the shade Aloe Cove. This is such a pretty duochrome. I'm gonna give that a spray as well. Ooh, that's pretty. I can't wait to get this all over my lid. Okay, what am I gonna do? So let me just do the highlighter now while we're here. Let me give this a little swatch for you because this is ridiculous. So let me see if I can do this just on my finger. So pretty, and I'm going to put this on the back of my hand. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see. It's like front facing, it looks like really peachy orange, like very fiery, and then on the side it's like green almost, and then almost blue as well. The base seems to be pretty transparent. They describe it as being a multi-chrome champagne highlighter with the supernatural green and fuchsia shift. And yeah, you can see the pink. To me, it looks a little bit more peachy. Anyway, I'm so excited to get this on my face. You have no idea. Let me maybe zoom in a little bit more so you can see the full effect. I shouldn't have even tapped it on. And maybe it doesn't go with the eyeshadow look, I'm not going to lie. It's a little bit orangey. But that is absolutely beautiful. I don't even know if you're going to be able to see that. Right here it looks green, and right here it looks like orangey pink. Whoa. I think I did a little bit more on this side, so. When I look forward, you can't really see. Okay, I overdid it. Oops. When I look forward, you can't really see the highlighter at all. On this side you can, but I think that's just like the light source from the window that's coming in over here. But when you turn your head, like, you can see the shade shifting. And then it looks, I don't know if you can see, like, super orange on my nose. That's so pretty. Maybe not the most appropriate upper lip highlight, but that's okay. I feel this is crazy. I feel like my face is a rainbow. Oh my god. That's insane. I honestly don't know what I was expecting, but I feel like it wasn't this. And I'm just going to put that a little bit on my brow bone because I just want this to be everywhere. This is so beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to hop off camera and I'm going to finish up my face, put some blush on, put some freckles on, lashes, lips, all that good stuff, and then be back to give just my first impressions, overall thoughts. Okay, you guys, and this is the finished look. I just did Like I said, blush and freckles, I used the Burt's Bees Blush in Toasted Cinnamon because I just wanted something a little bit more neutral because we got a lot going on. And then on my lips, I used the ColourPop Ultra Matte Lip in Sueno de Coco. And yeah, I just put some lashes on and put some black in my outer corner. I just used the black from the Kaleidos Sci-Fi Green palette. Overall, I do like this. Like I said before, for me personally, this color story isn't, like, I love the look I've done, but this hasn't excited me as much as other color stories from Kaleidos has, but I really, I'm looking forward to playing it. I think sometimes when you are challenged a little bit, you end up liking a palette even more than you would initially. I don't know, but I do really love this. Like I said, also, I would have preferred more depth. I would have preferred this green to be deeper, and I would have preferred this mauve to be deeper as well. Not only for me, for personal preference and how I like to do my makeup, but also I just think it makes it more applicable for deeper skin tones. Overall though, this is like pretty regular Kaleidos quality, as in it's really great. Mattes blended super well. They actually built well. I didn't notice that anything was like patchy or anything, and I put like a lot of layers down. This shimmer is super beautiful. It's good. It's really good because sometimes I feel like when Kaleidos do shimmers that are more opaque rather than these more sheer topper shades, they aren't quite as sparkly, but I feel like this has the same level of like sparkle as the topper shades do. It just has more of a base. I enjoy this. I think this Aloe Cove shade is so pretty. I don't think it really picks up on camera, but it's a beautiful like teal pink duochrome. I will definitely be doing a 3 looks 1 palette on that. I'm gonna try to get that done quickly. This highlighter, oh my god, this is so fucking fun. Like I love this. I'm not opposed to colorful highlighters. I think if you don't like a colorful highlighter, don't get this at all. I feel like it appears very like peachy orange on the cheeks, and then it kind of like, you can see the greenish tint to it when you like turn your head, or at least that's how it looks on me. Like I said, maybe not the most appropriate with this look, but I think it's so beautiful. It looks so like fiery on the skin. I love it. I can see myself getting a ton of use out of this, to be honest. Like, I think I'll probably reach for this every time I do a warm toned look. And it definitely is expensive, but I think it's just the nature of like multi-chrome, shifting shades, it's going to be more expensive, and obviously it's like a larger pan of what would be probably like a multi-chrome eyeshadow. But I have no regrets over purchasing this. I'm so glad that I finally have it, and it's going to be ultimately up to you whether or not you want to like think it's worth it to spend the money on this. If you have a multi-chrome shade, like a more sheer iridescent multi-chrome shade that has these shifts, you could use this, and I'm sure use that and get the same look as this, or any multi-chrome iridescent shade that you have. You can use as a highlighter, although I don't typically use my shadows as highlighters, but that's just me. Let me know what you think of this collection. I thought this was really fun. I actually like that Kaleidos switches up their packaging and stuff. They're just like a brand that I feel like, I've talked about this before, follows through in every aspect. They have the vision, they execute it well, and they're always coming out with new and different things. Like every time Kaleidos announces that they're releasing something new, I get super excited. I almost bought the nude, like neutral lip set. I didn't because I was like, this is enough money. This is enough. But I wouldn't be opposed to buying that. And I also don't need more nude liquid lipsticks, but I don't need anything. The problem is that I want a lot of stuff. Anyway, let me know if you picked this up, if you like it, if you don't like it. I feel like some people said like it's just too similar to other things that they have or that Kaleidos has done, and that's fucking fair enough. But I feel like I just want to buy everything that Kaleidos does. So here we are with this palette. And I will see you next time. And keep an eye out for a 3 looks 1 palette because I'll be working on that right away. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.